There's one thing that I do before I speak anywhere. I don't care if I'm speaking at a conference in front of tons of entrepreneurs, in front of thousands of kids at a conference. I don't care if I'm speaking in front of doctors. Now I can say I don't care if I'm speaking in front of scientists and researchers. Like, I don't care where I'm at. There's one thing that I always do, and that's this. Everybody got to point up like this. Everybody got to do it. Everybody. Don't be the one that don't do it. Everybody got to point up like that, and there's only one reason why we do that, because that's where we going, baby, all the way up. We've done that. We all been there. Misunderstanding intentions, all because you're not willing to break that line of communication, that barrier of communication, and step into their world and see what they can offer you, see what you can offer them, see how the growth can grow, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, like, when did that happen to me? And I was like, oh, yep, second job. My second job, I'm working at HAPO, right? I go to HAPO, I'm like, listen, I want to be a loan officer here. I'm trying to get a job. I interviewed out at PNNL. They ain't hiring me, so y'all hired me today, though. They ain't hiring me. So I was like, man. So I go to HAPO. Boom, they brought me on. They said, listen, we don't got any spots for the teller, or for the loans, but you could be a teller. I was like, a teller? I didn't get this education to be no teller, but okay, I'll work my way up. So I start as a teller. I was killing it. I wanted to be in the Richland branch. They put me in West Pasco. I was killing it. My sales were next level. My communication skills next level. Everybody loved Isaac. People would wait in line. No, Isaac, I don't. I'd be like, yes, that's right, Isaac. All right? So I'm sitting there, and there was one day where migrant workers would come in out there, and they'd cash their checks. And the one thing I hated was I couldn't help them. They'd come up, I'd be like, I can help you here. They'd be, Espanol. And I'd be like, dang, no. And I'd sit there and twiddle my thumbs as all of them come in to do their thing. So I looked at my homegirl, Socorro, and I was like, Socorro, I need you to give me like that 101 Spanish course, please. She said, okay, yeah, I got you. Lunch, she did a week course for me during lunch. I was like, awesome. So we going through it. She's like, listen, ¿cómo estás? And they walk, okay. She said, when you say ¿cómo estás? They'll say bien y tú, and then you say bien. Let's try. I said, okay. ¿Cómo estás? Bien y tú? Bien. She said, good. I said, yes, I'm getting it, right? She's like, okay, perfect. Okay, that's good. Now, if they want to deposit in checking or savings, you say, deposito en el cheques ahorros. Let me see. I like, deposito en el cheques ahorros. She said, oh, good. I said, yes, great. She said, all right, look, you got to know the cash counting too. 10, 20, 30. I said, all right, cool, I'm ready. Boom, next week comes up, they come in to start depositing their checks. I'm like, perfect. They walk up to the line. I'm sitting there. I'm open. I can help you here. Espanol. I'm like, un poquito, Espanol, un poquito. She's like, what? Like, she starts to walk forward. I hit her with the, ¿cómo estás? She said, bien. ¿Y tú? I said, bien. She said, ooh, very good. I was like, yeah, I'm killing them. The batato and the cheques ahorro. She was like, oh. I was like, yeah. Boom, put it in. Did my thing, right? Did my thing, even counted back them. 10, 20. She said, very good. I said, thank you. I'm feeling myself. I'm looking at Socorro like, she's looking at me like, they coming up to me like, you can speak Spanish? I was like, yes. I called my wife. I said, I can speak to Spanish speakers. I'm bilingual, baby. They need to give me a raise. She said, okay. I'm feeling myself, right? The next day, a gentleman walks in. He had on what looked like migrant clothes, right? He was a Hispanic gentleman. He walks in, and I'm wide open. He walks straight in. There's nobody in line. I put my hand up. I'm feeling myself like yesterday was a win. We're going to keep it going today. He walks straight up. ¿Cómo estás? Look, walk forward. I'm like, maybe he ain't heard me right. I didn't do the accent right or something. Deposito en el cheques ahorros. He looked at me. He said, oh, I know what this is. Oh, you think because I'm brown I speak Spanish? Oh, y'all racist up in here. I was like, what? He said, I came in here because y'all deposited my check in the wrong account last week. Oh, and y'all racist. I'm looking like, oh my God, no. What you mean? He said, oh, I see how y'all is. It's because I'm brown, isn't it? I was like, no, it's not. What? What's going on here? Where's your manager? I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my God, where's your manager? I'm like, oh my goodness, I misread and overcommitted big time. Where's your manager at? I'm like, oh my God, okay, right this way, sir. Dang, what just happened? Go sit down in the manager's office. She said, what happened, sir? I'm so sorry, we're not racist here. We're like, I don't know what happened. I'm sitting here like, am I racist? I'm not racist, but why did you do that? You made that was racist. I'm confused. What's going on? I'm confused. I'm like, I'm not. I'm sitting here evaluating the situation. Like, dang, lack of communication is the only reason why we in this mess. I should have gave him the opportunity to tell me like I did with everybody last week that they need a Spanish speaker. But instead, the communication barrier was there and I wasn't willing to break it. And all of a sudden, I misunderstand his intention. Now, this was the worst part. Not only did he think I was a racist, but every time he came in, our interaction was horrible. He wouldn't even come to me. All because I wasn't willing to break the line of communication. Like his experience was horrible from there on out. Every time he came in, when he seen me, it was like, oh, I remember, yeah, that's that racist guy right there. So you're thinking like, what? At that moment in time, I wasn't willing to be diverse enough in my thinking to understand that I don't know I gotta, hold up, let me dissect this thing first before we jump there. How many people have done that before? You just jump straight in, like, you overcommitted. And then you like, what? I don't even know what just happened. Because you're not willing to take that extra step. Understand where they're coming from. Understand what they need. Understand what their aspects are that they can bring to the table, and what you can bring to the table. You just jump straight to the conclusion. I know what this person needs. I've seen that person before. I know exactly how you interact with people. I know it. My boss at my last job, they look just like you. I know exactly how you work. I had an employee that looked just like you. I know how you work. You put a wall up. And when you interacting with them, there's this wall. And the worst part is that you're not giving them all of you because there's a wall up, and they're not giving you all of them because there's a wall up. All of a sudden, you're getting a diluted version of who you are and who they are. Tell me, how in the world is a company supposed to succeed when everybody's walking around diluted?
So we just heard Isaac Butts speak about diversity and inclusion in the workplace, a really powerful message I think resonated with everyone, both majority and underrepresented groups. For me, the takeaway is to be more open-minded. Whatever may have happened in the past or things I've experienced that maybe negatively contribute to opinions I hold of other groups, it was such a great reminder and a call to action for all of us to be open-minded and show dignity and respect for everyone, and know that everyone has a story, a different background, and that we all as a whole, when we come together, open and true as our own selves and willing to be vulnerable with each other and break down those barriers and those walls, like great things, amazing things happen. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, and I'm really thankful that Isaac was able to come and share that with us and raise the level of awareness and education for everyone that was there. Highly recommended, a very powerful message, all the feels, all the goodness, and thank you, Isaac. We really appreciate you.
I am a diversity inclusion professional, and I was really touched by Isaac's remarks. I think that he gives great personal testimony, and in my experience, people being willing to have the courage to share their stories, their life journey, the experiences that they have makes diversity and inclusion what it is. And the more people that are willing to stand up and have that courage, I think that just proliferates throughout the community and throughout workplaces. I think it sparks dialogue about hard things that need to be put on the table and aren't discussed enough in education and corporations. So we were really grateful to have Isaac come out and share with us. And I think a takeaway for me that really touched me was misunderstandings and not jumping into somebody else's shoes before you really understand their story and their background.
So I just heard Isaac Butts speak, and he really rallied the whole room and made us connect personally with understanding how diversity and inclusion affects our own lives, and how what we commit to individually and lifting our own selves up and what that's going to do for the organization that we work at. So I was very moved by Isaac. It enlightened in me a personal commitment to show up and understand my own worth in the workplace. And I'm really thankful to him for that. So Isaac, thank you for coming today. I think that you will be hearing from us again in the future. At least I hope so.
So a lot of the students that came here are, well, half of them that we're helping out today were in my program. And a lot of the questions that they had was in kind of barrier breakdown, right? And in communication, because that happens to be one of the primary concerns and the key stumbling block. So giving them tools and tips and tricks that they can help push past that, they were really impressed with it. And I was really impressed with it. So we really appreciate you coming and totally would recommend would love to have you come.